All right, as you can tell by the title, has Chris revealed himself to his twin? Has his twin revealed herself to him? Does his twin know that he's a singer? But let me make sure I got the question right.
She revealed his twin know that he is a singer.
Oh yeah, that he is a singer. Yeah. Now, since, and I would assume, and if you have not seen the question regarding whether the twin took a different path or not due to his life choices, you may want to check that video out if you don't understand what I'm about to talk about with these percentages, because I think Spirit is going to reference these percentages throughout all the questions today with the twin. So what I'm about to say to answer this question is going to seem as if I'm talking to 75%ers, because I feel like a lot of women have done this before. We're going to start with whether the twin revealed herself to him. And I feel like she has. But I feel like it's not just through the time he got on OnlyFans and his inbox was jumping and people were, trying to do it like that. However, I feel like there was a possibility there. She was probably in that crowd. I remember getting so many emails like, Diamond, oh my God, he responded back. Some people are like, well, I don't really believe it was him. Yes, it was him. It was him. But he wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm gonna tell y'all something I ain't never told nobody before, or that was never a public message, but the girl that I told y'all I used to do these type of readings for 2 years before I started doing it publicly, she asked too, because I was getting a lot of emails then once he got on OnlyFans and was actually responding. So it was a lot of girls wanting readings, and they're like, oh my God, can you see if I'm his twin, or can you see if, is she on the platform? Are they talking? Did he find her on OnlyFans? So 75%ers, come on, sit your asses down, because most of this is going to always be about you. And I think that's why y'all always feel like, why is it always us? We never get what the 25%ers get. We never learn what the 5%ers learn. Because first you got to accept where you are and what category you are, and what it is you are supposed to be doing, and stop worrying about the 25%ers and the 5%ers, and stop worrying about how you can manipulate, trying to be like a 25%er. You try to manipulate like a 25%er just to become a 5%er. It's not going to work. All right, we talked about that slightly in that reading. Like I said, to those of you who are not seeing that reading before this one, it's the one regarding if his twin has taken a different path due to his life choices. Check it out. Okay. Now, his OnlyFans times. I remember telling her, and I remember telling a lot of people, I feel like she's going to get mixed in with it. But when it was like, when he first got on there, I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, no, it's just a lot of girls that want to be 25%ers. So they are, and this is, a girl sent me confirmation of this. I was like, and so they are mimicking the women that he already dealt with. So you had a lot of Black and Asian girls posting, making their profile picture being like Amika, copying Karuchi. Not saying that Amika's Malaysian. Y'all know what I'm saying though. Like all those types of girls went flocking in no differently than if Chris was to walk in a club or have a tour. The same type of girls are going to flood things first, right? And that's what happened, because you know why? A lot of them girls too are they already locked in 25% to have access to that sort of information, even if it's to use for bad intentions. They have that sort of access. So what I was telling the girl is that no, I was like, I see something happening with them, but I feel like at first he's gonna be dealing with the usual girls offering to paint with him like he done with other girls in his past. Girls, or girls saying like they can dance, and they try to use everything that they've seen that he has done with other girls to get his attention. So that, and matter of fact, I was getting emails from certain girls saying that, you know, they did this, or certain girls was telling me about other girls who sent them stuff that was saying like, oh, you know, she asked if she could do this or do that with him, and he hasn't responded yet. And I'm like, well, there's your answer. Right there, that rules out that all them little 75, all them 75%ers that was trying to be 25%ers, that ruled them out. That landed them right back in the middle, because his twin wouldn't even come at him like that. And I don't think she would have been the first to run to OnlyFans demanding dick pics and for him to post nastier things and fussing and complaining about those sorts of things. These are things he tries to get away from, but it's hard for him to escape. It comes with his life, but not only that, remember in the other question, it's rooted, sexual energy is rooted in his root chakra. It causes blockages because he was tainted before he could even psychologically develop. So you're gonna attract even the things you think you've overcame, or that you're just not aware of, or you think, oh, that's just what boys were supposed to do, and you're not choosing to wake up, which I feel like he is starting to realize, like, wait, that wasn't right. You know, a lot of men, when they get in their 30s and stuff, they start to think like, wait, you know, they start to get hip to the biting of the apple from Eve. So they, you know, I don't go by that. I'm just saying for metaphorical terms, when it comes to like how, you know, men eventually got angry and started saying that women were dangerous and the devil, because women are equipped to dance around men in that way and hypnotize men to get their way. They are. And that's why we ended up with no women's stories in the Bible and all that, but that's a talk for another day. What I'm saying is it did stem from men getting tired and angry of being hypnotized and controlled by women. But it's something that they never could escape. They're still not escaping it. They try to trick themselves, but the way they can escape it is to awaken to what happened to them, you know, and own that part of themselves. So basically, has she revealed herself to him? I feel like if and when, if ever, because what I will say generally is that I do feel like she has reached out to him. But then there's the 75%ers that they're going to go, oh my God, you know, and then I'm going to get these emails like, oh my God, I sent him a letter. I sent this and I sent that and I da. Okay, so that's that part. But under what circumstances was this sent? How are you feeling on the inside? What was going on in his life that made you want to reach out to him? Was it because you felt like you were having all these dreams and you feel like you're his twin? Okay. And if that's the case, or if you were seeing all these synchronicities of what he was posting on his page, okay. But what I'm going to tell you is that what I'm feeling as far as her and how she revealed herself and why was, I feel like during times where it's almost like how angels have to intervene in a human's life when they're in danger, just to put them back on course. Okay? I feel like anytime she revealed herself to him, and I'm about to cry, was selfless. It was to protect him. And not in a way where you're writing letters saying, Chris, you need to stop hanging with these Bloods and these Crips and that. No, it was things she could see above all of that. Because she understands, as a 5%er, now, they understand you got to let them go through what they go through to get through and become who they need to become, because otherwise they'll never feel like they earned it, and they'll always hold you responsible for their happiness. And a 5%er, that's a basic lesson. Like 5%ers, that's one of the basic, most general things that 5%ers understand. One thing there, you're going to always hear them say, I'm not trying to control or tell, you're not going to, I might have to do a reading on how you could tell you're a 5%er. Because the thing is with them, they don't like having to pull this and that out to prove something. Because they have to preserve their energy. They're not going to argue a lot unless they have to. And again, it's not even to make a point. It's just if they're pulled into it, then they have to fix themselves to get out of it or whatever. They're not protesters. They're not, they're just not, because they understand universal law. Okay, that's that part. So like I said, I feel like she has. But I feel like it was to get him back on course. So eventually this friend, high five to my girl, if you still be watching and stuff, because we haven't talked in a long time, because I believe she falls in the 15%ers of the 75%ers who really, and I'm about to cry again, damn, who really watches this stuff to learn. And when she feels herself get like frustrated with everything, she takes a break from it. And she used to say, I'm gonna take a break. And I said, one day this girl gonna really take a break. And she did. And I have not, I feel like she dabbles in other shit, but I feel like she understands to come to me, it's intense. Like, it really feeds and shifts things into perspective for her in a way that keeps her in a loop where she's like, okay, this is a lot, Diamond. So, and then it becomes an obsession, It is an addictive thing. It is, because and it's not Chris, he himself. It's the powers and the energies of things we can't see. Because we know that we're more than what this earth tries to convince us that we aren't. Okay, so back to the revealing. So as time went on, she's like, hey, Diamond, can you check again? So it was that. It was like almost an everyday thing. Like, can you check now? Can you check now? Because we all felt like, oh my God, this is it. They're going to find each other. And so, it got to the point where I said it was just a feeling. Like, she sent something he posted. A lot of girls were sending stuff that he posted. And they're like, oh my God, he's talking to me on OnlyFans, and he found this, he posted this because I think I make him nervous, so he didn't respond, but he put it on his, no. However, I do feel like these girls were channeling what would happen with him and his twin had anything been exchanged on that platform. And she asked, she said, is she on there? Do you feel that she's there? And it was somewhere just before he vanished, and I knew it. I was like, yep. She revealed herself, because that's when I felt it. I was like, we'll know, because he's going to get his ass from up off of there, because he knows he's off course. And like I said, 75%ers, some of them probably did feel that way. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? He don't supposed to be on there. I'm going to write him a letter and tell him his life is in danger because I'm psychic and I can see these things. That's control. 5%ers don't have time for that. So I feel like her revealing herself to him, if it was on that platform, which I feel like it was, but don't take my word for it, because it's just energy that I was reading and I remember. I feel like it was from a place of love and encouragement to tell him to not give up. I don't feel like she made it about herself, but she made it about them and who they truly are and what they truly come from. And she knew that was strong enough. And I know twins do this shit, because my twin did it with his hands. That's why in my cartoon intro, y'all see us with the hands, because when I say he wiped away all earthbound knowledge from my ass, like, nah, you gonna recognize today. Because he realized when he was talking to me in my dream or in that other realm, he kept just telling me, and I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm only here to help twins find each other. I'm not, no. I'm not, because I thought my ex was. And once I, as a 75%er, realized that I really wasn't a 75%er, then I felt I was a 15%er, but I think my ex was my twin flame. Then I was like, there's something more to this. Okay? So, when he put them hand, he realized, like, I can't, English isn't getting through to her. Me sitting here in front of her isn't getting through to her. I got her ass. And he put them hands up, everything went away. Everything I once knew as an earthbound female, black, whatever I am. So my genetics tests say 71% European is what they say. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, everything you think you are, you have to face the fear to be willing to unravel and not be afraid of who you truly are, because what you think you are, you're not. So you run around thinking if you run around thinking you're the twin, you're probably not. But once somebody is, I do agree. But like another young lady said, everybody can't be. So what do we do with that? I'm telling you what to do with that. I'm telling you what 5%ers do. I'm telling you what 25%ers do. And I'm telling you what 75%ers do. But what 15 out of that 75% are going to do or can do. And that's that. And like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the question about if she's taking a different path, right? So like I said, I feel like she did on that platform reveal herself. And I can only say this with confidence because homegirl had me looking into it almost every other day. And not only that, I was getting emails left and right. Everything was going haywire, y'all. It was like one of the busiest eras of my crisp pulling tarot card career. And so I was able to see from all angles, you know, and just do what I had to do in that case. So has she revealed herself to him? I feel like she has, but I feel like it was from a connection perspective, like about them and themselves. I don't feel like it was like a message that contained anything regarding, did you get what I sent you before? I wrote you a letter. Do you remember me from this tour? You let me on your tour bus. Let me see what else. What other emails did I get where people said certain things? I was like, no, they're not the twin. Because it was this one girl just sending me other people's stuff. And I was like, this is what do you think it's? No. You could just look at the content in the context of the messages. And it's like, no, she wouldn't. No. I feel it was the example I gave with my hands. I feel like whatever she said was equivocal to how when I tell y'all the story about how my twin put his hands up and got me to recognize. She know what to do or to say to do that. They're made for each other. He even when he's so numb, she has power, but she does not abuse that power. She only uses it when she needs to. And it's not to get her way with him, but to keep him on his path, to learn on his own. And she's always just there in love and support. And she also has the understanding that he has the free will. She's almost like a spirit, goddamn near. She might end up coming back as one after this lifetime. God bless her soul. And that's probably why her lifetime this time is like that. But, you know, I feel like she approached him probably with kind words. But I feel like her words, get the fuck off of here. And I feel like he understood that, but she communicated to where he understood it. And I don't think she just flat out said, like, get the fuck off of here. I don't feel like she made it about herself, like, oh, me, and what do you think about us? And I'm a this zodiac sign, and I'm from this place, and using all the information from readers and what they may have gotten in their own readings, just throwing spaghetti at a wall to see if it sticks. That means you're not secure in yourself. You're still fishing around trying to figure out yourself. Not to figure out if you're his twin. You're just still trying to figure out who you are. That's what this all translates into. Okay? So, has she revealed herself? Yes. He knows who she is. He does. All right? And then she said, has he revealed himself to her? I feel like he has, but in a way that she has to him. All because I feel like, but let me get some cards on it, because this is the more trickier one, because I do feel like Chris is a 25%er, or he's around them, he deals with them, he can become them, he practices it, he has access to things that mimics the light. So follow me with that. So his capabilities are just as equal to her 5% capabilities, but he just has to master what that is and why he fear it. He fear it because he's around the 25%ers in it. You know, he sees magic and he know about this shit, but it's scary to him because he's in a scary place looking at it. He just got to let go and be over here where he's supposed to be, in the 5%ers on the right side of the pole. So has he revealed himself? Yep, the same way she did. Yep, damn, that flashed fast. Yeah, the same way she has. I feel like they talk to each other. Okay, 75%ers. I'm going to come on back on into y'all too. I'm not trying to bag on y'all, but let me be clear on this, because what I'm about to say, a lot of y'all going to be like, oh my God, I did send poetry to him and I did send a letter and this, that, and the third. The way I'm going to tell y'all this, where y'all could tell the difference is, damn, the sirens are going off crazy. What I'm seeing is, I'm hearing an encrypted letter in some way. And they're playing his song, I Got the Time, the one you love, love letters wrote to you. I feel like that was about her. What if I only dream about you? That's how they do that, okay? So, yeah, he revealed himself to her the same way she revealed herself to him. And equally so, because I feel like he could put a face with the letters just like she can. But that's a form of their communication as well. And it was really him. Right? So even the girls that were on OnlyFans that, were getting responses back from him and all that kind of stuff. And she knows the tone of his writing and all that kind of, she knows when it's him and he knows when it's her. But like I said, they know, they have a face to their letters. They do. Yeah, so they know who each other are. But I know y'all are like, well, why don't he just go ahead and, because of y'all. That's why. I done told y'all that. The 75%ers, blah, 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 because y'all keep so much shit going. Y'all make it tough. But y'all are doing what y'all supposed to do. And you have to understand that too. But the more of you who awaken to who you are and decide like you don't want to be in the middle, and you're willing to see who you really are, you have to accept where you are first in order to, figure out who you really are. Okay, that's that. So yes, do she know he's a singer? Yes. Back to the 75%ers again when I say this, because a lot of you are like, oh my God, I felt that way too. That for her. And I get a lot of emails that says this too, like, I don't really like celebrities like that. But that's just like Eminem said in his song. First thing you say, I'm not phased. I hang around big stars all day. I don't see what the big deal is anyway. You're just playing on Marshall to me. A lot of them say, yeah, he's gifted and talented, but I never had a thing for celebrities. And I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, don't let that be the end-all be-all reason to approach someone trying to retrieve information. Dig a little deeper, because that doesn't give you a pass for me or anybody else to say like, oh, you're not, you gotta be his twin because you're not even obsessed with celebrities or care about what they do. Because some of that could be undertones of lies, of you trying to convince yourself that you're not, interested in him. Because it may not be he himself, but it may be the powers that he holds. And more than likely, that's what it always is. We be thinking that we're into these celeb lives and stuff, but we're into the unattainable. That's all. That's what that is. Because deep down, our asses know we're more powerful than the earth allows us to think we are. So the people that achieve shit that a lot of people don't, that shit intrigues us. I don't care if it was Chris or somebody else. It just so happened he do have a gift that landed him in this 25% place that many that with gifts don't even get in. So that's intriguing. So to say, oh, I'm not into celebrities like that. He was the first one that really struck my attention, and it's not him. It's the power in him. That's why a lot of people may say like tarot and all this stuff is the devil, but it's still a rarity to the point where it's fucking intriguing, no matter what people say, because a lot of people don't do it or feel like they can't do it. We're intrigued by things that we can't have or feel like we can't do. But the thing is, yeah, we can. We all have gifts and powers, but the problem is, unfortunately, a large percentage of us won't wake up to that because we're so busy paying attention to the other people who seemingly have what it is that we don't. That's what keeps you outside of yourselves. So like I said, so what I'm about to say here is that she doesn't really even lead with that. I feel like she loves that he is who he is and made it to where he made it off of his gifts. And that, yeah, sure, she knows he's a singer. You know, I don't think I could ever see or feel that she would ever say anything like, you know, I'm not into I feel like she's always had a love for celebrities and a soft heart for celebrities. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this way. Like, if you just so happen to have a dream of him one day and you were never into celebrities before, I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that you never really had an obsession with celebrity gossip and how much this costs or that costs with them. But a lot of people, the undertone of that is a lie. It's a lie. Because what the truth is that if you can say you haven't been fascinated with it, then you're not here on earth. Like, because that's a part of being here on earth. Like, you're gonna notice it. You, like, no one can say that they, like, especially if you're in America at least, or if you're not living off the grid and stuff, because there's a rare percentage of those too that, you know, that don't be knowing. But come on, it's a part of who we are. We're gonna know the world, the national stars, the pop stars, because they are in a percentile that many aren't in. So they're gonna stand out. They're going to. That's how it goes. But all of us have that and can do that. And you could stand out too if you choose not to be a part of the 75%ers. And the way you choose not to be a part of them is to stop doing what they do. Stop doing basic shit. And try to think outside of the box. And a big part of that is you have to accept your flaws. You do. And you have to face fears. That's one of the ways to get up out of there. But there's so many other ways, so many other things you have to do. But that's one of them. So, yeah, sure. She knows he sings. I feel like she loves his voice. I feel like she gets hypnotized by his voice. Again, a lot of people try to say like I really don't listen to much of his music, and just to seem like you don't care about his fame and you're just there for the spiritual thing. You're not lying. You are. That's what that is. You're more captured by the energy that he carries. What's so wrong with that? But a lot of people don't understand that that's what it is. That's why they can't express it. And because they can't express it, they can't connect with it. And because they can't connect with it, it sends them back in the loop again. And then they feel misunderstood. And then they feel like they don't get it. And then they become obsessive. Even if they don't want to admit it's about that person, yes, it is if you can't figure out what it is about them that draws you in. If all that you can come up with is that they're a celebrity, and that's the only reason why the attraction is there, but then you hate that you are attracted to a celebrity. You're not attracted to the celebrity, it's the energy. And once you figure that out, and you can find what part of that energy that you have within yourself that this person has, you'll be fine. You can get yourself out of the maze, out of the trap. But if you do not get yourself out of the trap, it does turn into obsession. And I don't care how many times you say you're not obsessed with celebrity life and all that. The more you say that you're not, the more things you get yourself into to become. Because you're putting resistance in the situation. You're pushing against something inside of you that's true. But because you don't know how to define what that truth is, it keeps you locked in a maze. And 25%ers know that. So does 5%ers. But the 25%ers are the ones that gauge you in it. That's why you can say easily, oh, I'm not in a celebrity life. Because you know what they're really doing to you. You just can't put your fingers on what it is that they're doing to get out of it. And that's the trap that they create. That's the dark magic that they create. They do simple magic. Their shit is so basic. Like, y'all would be like, oh my God. Yeah, it's so basic. It's not as powerful as y'all think it is. It's just the illusion that they create to make y'all think. What they do is they lead with numbers and stuff to make y'all think that they're more than what they are. And then once your mind connects with that part, but a lot of y'all know y'all gonna say that, oh, I don't think I know some of them really be broke and all that kind of stuff and da. Okay, well then if that's the case, then it would be easy for you to tap out of it. Because then you wouldn't be being drawn in. What you hate about it is that you know this to be true, but you can't figure out what keeps drawing you to it. And I'm telling you what's drawing you to it. It's something inside of you that you have not tapped into, that it seems like these people can do. But a lot of them tamper with with magic and stuff to get what they have. But then there's Chris. Then there's Michael. And a few other rarities that's mixed in. There's 25% that really do have gifts. But what I tell y'all 25%ers do, they know they can't fuck with the 5%ers. And they can't beat them up or nothing. So they have to have some of them on their side before they awaken, so that they can make themselves look like more than what they are. These 25%ers are the ones that's at the top of the pyramid, the billionaires and all of them. And still it ain't, and then the little 5%er ones, like I told y'all where they ass is at. And they have to get summons in. Because just like 5%ers don't mingle with the 75%ers, 5%ers don't mingle with the awakened 5%ers ain't getting summons then by no, like you gotta pay, you're gonna give yourself over to deal with to get anything out of a 5%er. Okay, like you're not gonna, like when these 25%ers decide they want to summons in this or that, they're dealing with manifestations of energies that they already cooked up and created on their own. Henceforth, a witch's pot and brewing and all that kind of stuff. They're recharges off of their own energy that they preserve, and then they alchemize this. They have a whole scientific approach to it. Whereas a 5%er just do what they do. And when you ask them, how did you do that? I don't know. It's just in me. This is what I do. I love it. It's my purpose. It's God. It's the eternal source and light that's inside of them. So what the 25%ers do is, like I said, that's why they like children. That's why they love the birthing of children, because they could take them in and program them. And that's why we be thinking, oh, the gatekeepers, they don't let anybody in and everybody. Duh. Because if everybody got in and found out their gifts and all that kind of stuff, or was able to find themselves, then they'd have no power and they can't control anything and didn't get pleasure out of doing that shit. So, and then they'll get taken down. And it's just a lot to that, right? But I say all this to say this, like, oh my God, we're really going here today. So with the 25%ers, they don't really, when it is that they are really ready to deal with 5%ers, because I told y'all we all have free will. Even y'all could become 5%ers. Even 25%ers can become, they could change, they could decide to go to light at any time. And the reason why 75%ers get so upset about that, like, no, if you're evil, you're just going to hell. They get upset about it because their brains can't fathom that level of unconditional love. And their brains can't fathom that there's a percentage of people out here that just can't be touched because they're protected by God. But only because they alchemize to that frequency to be there. They don't believe that. And because they don't believe that these people with this dark magic could ever merge with a 5%er. But they can. But the catch is, once they do, just like when a 5%er alchemizes into 5%, there's no turning back. That's why we've seen a lot of back and forth with Chris with twin, because Chris knows deep down inside, once he makes summons, like pretty much merges with her physically, it's no turning back. Now, is that a fear? No. I'm gonna tell y'all what Spirit is saying is equivocal to. When you live a certain life and you just so happen to die and you see that white light and you see your loved ones waiting for you and the angels, and you feel all nothing but love, no more darkness, no more heaviness, but your mind can remember that shit, but your heart feels otherwise. Your heart feels it. But then that mind comes in and say, you ain't shit. You ain't. That's how we end up with ghosts here in these earthly planes, because they don't feel like that they are worthy enough to go back home, to cross over. So you have a lot of ghosts. That's why there are imprints and stuff here. There are imprints, which is different from ghosts, but then there are ghosts here that they just stay trapped in places that were dark because they feel that they don't deserve love, and maybe they were tainted so much in that. And that's what they're equating him going towards her as. It's more so of, it is a fear, but it's more so, it's like the force though, is a fear with force. I'm trying to find a better way to explain it, but it's almost like, really, if you just equate him out to being a ghost that never crossed over into the light. Right? So he's not necessarily in his vehicular human body. and then he ain't in the light. He's just trapped in this middle space. He can't get back in his body. That's where he is now. He can't get back in his body. So in his mind, is like, damn, that's even proof. I can't even go back to this if I try. My shit is gone. But I'm saying this beautiful light and all this shit on this other side. And you even have people, there are stories, guys, where people crossed over. I even went there. That place ain't no place to fuck with. It's a place of darkness and nothingness. Sometimes you could enter into it so deep, you see people walking around with no faces, just like hopeless, and they don't talk or nothing, but you could just feel all their sadness and depression. We're going to learn about all this shit in the courses, but you know, and you could feel that shit. And some people that like be wanting to save them be like, oh no, cross over. I know exactly where they went. I'm like, oh, you went. Sylvia Brown called it the left door. I forgot what my spirit guy called it, but some people end up there and they'd be like, oh my God, I see all these people suffering. I was just trying to tell them, God is right there. You could go there. That's the left door, for lack of better. I can't explain that place. But like I said, Sylvia Brown called it the left door. But that is a place. It's a place of darkness and nothingness that equates more out to the dark side. And that's where dark entities enter in. And you know, and they go in and out of that door. We go through the right door, which would be like the right side on the pole and, you know, heaven and all of that. And so for him, he's like trapped he's earthbound, like he's a ghost. And that light never leaves. And sometimes like the spirit guides and all like come to somebody that could hear and tell that person, go home, cross over, it's safe. They get so traumatized. I believe Justin's going to be that way. There's a lot of celebrities that were captured as 5%ers to be within the 25%ers so they could use their energy to fool the 75%ers, to make the 75%ers think that the 25%ers are the real 5%ers. Okay? All right, so yeah, she knows he's a singer.